here we're going to give the formal definition of a best response. And so this starts off with, given a two-player game A, B, so two matrices, a strategy sigma R star for the row player is a best response for row player. To, and this is important, I'll put this in a different color, to a given sigma C, so to a given strategy of the column player, if and only if, and here is essentially the definition, if and only if sigma R star equals arg max of sigma R a sigma C transpose over all sigma R belonging to S1. In other words, given a strategy of the other player, the utility of the row player for a given strategy sigma R is given by that expression, and the best response is the argument that maximizes that expression. We have a hopefully natural definition for the column player, which is the somewhat equivalent definition, which is that sigma C star is a best response for the column player. Let me move that a bit more. Column player to a given C sigma R if and only if sigma C star is equal to the arg max of sigma sigma R B sigma C, for sigma C being in the strategy space S2, which is just the same definition as before. Should have a little transpose there, same definition as before, the big difference being that B in that A being different, because we're talking about the column player. That's the strategy that'll maximize the column player's strategy. So now, using all of that, if we consider the prisoner's dilemma, which is a game we've seen before, which has row player matrix A equals 3, 0, 5, 1. What is the, let me make sure we can actually see that. What is the best response to either of the actions of the column player? So we're saying if the column player is playing the first column, what is the biggest utility we could have? And we would calculate that arg max of sigma A sigma C, if it's the first column, essentially becomes sigma C transpose for sigma S belong to S1. This essentially becomes, in the case of if we know it's the first column, this becomes arg max of a I1 for I belonging to, whoops, not 0, but 1 and 2. And the argument that gives us the bigger of those two numbers is 2, because the second one is indeed bigger. So that would be 2. And then if we wanted to know the arg max of being in the second column, so now we've got arg max of ai2 for a belonging to 1 and 2. This will also be 2 because here we have a choice between 0 and 1. So against the first column, the best response is to pick the second row. Against the second column, the best response is to pick the second row. So indeed, the second row is a best response to both strategies of the column player. This here is the formal definition of what a best response is, and that's going to allow us to kind of move forward mathematically.